Now, to go to the part that I think everyone will be waiting for, the invitation letter. How did I draft my invitation letter that was convincing enough to make them know that even though she was denied the first time, this time we meant business? I'm just gonna blur out the parts where I have like personal details, obviously for security purposes. So you first start with your address, the way you write a formal letter. You start with your address, you write the date, and then you write the address of the British High Commission. And then the heading is invitation letter for, and then I put my mom's name there and her passport number. So, dear sir, I'm writing to formally invite my mother, and I put my mother's name with passport number so to visit me in the United Kingdom. My mom will be visiting us from then you put the stipulated time, and we'll be staying with my husband and I for the whole duration of her stay. Clearly stating that she was not going to stay anywhere else. Remember, I had told you guys earlier that we needed to prove her accommodation with my lease agreement. So we've clearly stated already in the first line that she's going to be staying with my husband and I for the whole duration of her stay. We've clearly also stated the stipulated time that she's going to be staying with us for. The primary purpose of a visit is for family support and to assist my husband, Ozie, Momo, and me as we transition into parenthood. So we've also given the reason why she's visiting. So everything is pretty much clear, but we're going to now break it down and explain it further and give reasons why they should even consider giving her this visa. My husband and I are first-time parents, and we are expecting our baby on the date there as confirmed by my maternity notes and ultrasound, which I have attached for reference. So this time I did not play about proving anything. So I put my maternity notes, I put the notes that confirmed that I was pregnant, and I put my ultrasound scans the day of my 12-week scan that actually proved that I was pregnant. As I have had a really difficult high-risk pregnancy with ongoing abdominal pain from degenerating fibroids, and then in brackets I have attached letters from my hospital notes to further support this. So while I was in the hospital, I had like numerous hospital notes from nurses and from doctors. So I just took like a lot of photos of that. I just said like my diagnosis, and I added that also to the application. My mom's presence during this time, both in the delivery room and afterwards, will provide invaluable support. Her presence is indispensable as we cannot cope with a newborn by ourselves. My friend told me to add this part because he was like, you need to clearly state to them that you are helpless pretty much without your mom, and you really need her. Like, you need to appeal to their emotional side to say that, oh, we've had a really tough time with pregnancy, we are first-time parents, we really don't know what we're doing, we need my mom. Especially while I recover from postpartum complications. And then I put in bracket, I have attached letters from my midwife and obstetrics consultant to further support this. So I told you that I added a letter from my midwife and from my consultant. I made sure I had a conversation with them prior, gave them my mom's passport number and her full name. And so they included that in their letters also to say, oh, she needs her mom here. Her assistance will help relieve the stress and anxiety of being first-time parents, provide me some much needed time to recover, and allow us to adjust to our new family routine. My dad, Mr. So, a retired civil servant and a full-time pastor, runs a business, and then I put the business name with my mom, and then I also attached in the bracket, I put ownership documents attached, which I had previously attached. And good thing is my mom's name is boldly there on the ownership documents, my mom and my dad, so it states there that she has something that she's doing. It's legit. My mom is also the leader of the women's community. She's a deaconess and the chairperson of the Pickings board at her local church. And then in bracket, the church has graciously sent over an approval letter for the trip as attached. So I attached the letter from the pastor that said her role and why she was indispensable to the church and why she would definitely be returning back. They live in a so bungalow and own a few cars, and then I put ownership certificates also for their house, for their cars, for all the properties that they have, just to say, oh, they are comfortable with their life in Nigeria. They're not trying to come here and start a whole new life in so Nigeria. I am incredibly grateful to my dad for his support in agreeing to allow my mom assist us during this significant time. as shown in his personal consent letter and leave approval letter from the business attached. So I got a leave approval letter also from my dad's business. So they drafted a letter to say, oh, we're allowing her to go on leave to help her daughter from this time to this time, and she needs to come back to run the business because she's only running the business with my dad. Although we have a lot of workers, but she's pretty much the manager, so they need her. My mother has extensive experience in caring for her children's newborns and was instrumental during my older siblings' postpartum periods as well. So my sisters have had babies, and my mom was really instrumental in helping them during their newborn phase. So just to say, she has experience doing this, and not that she has experience doing it for other mothers, like she's gonna come in and try to find a job being a nanny, but that she has done it for her own grandkids. So she's just gonna come do the same for her new grandkid, basically. My mom plans to stay with my family from so and so to so and so. She will reside in our so and so apartment when my husband and I currently live. We have prepared the guest room for her in that regard, and then I attached a copy of my tenancy agreement. So I said a copy of my tenancy agreement is attached for your review, and I also attached a letter where my landlady was allowing them to stay in the house. We have also been saving towards her trip for 5 months now, with the sum of so and so every month, under a trip savings plan, saving to the account of so and so. So what we did, as seen in my bank statement. So what we did, Ozzy and I, as soon as we found out that I was pregnant, we started saving money for the baby. So we kind of like opened a separate account where we were putting money in monthly, and so when it was time to make this application, we transferred the lump sum back into my account just to say we have this much money, aside our regular salary, aside Ozzy's salary, we have this much money, and we will be able to sponsor this trip. And what we did, every time we transferred that money into that other account, we made sure we clearly stated their savings for mom's trip, so that eventually when we are sending it back to my account, it will state it there in the account statement, in the bank statement. This amount, now summing up to so and so, all from our personal income, has now been transferred back to my personal account to cover the cost for this trip. My dad has also supported with the sum of so and so for my mom's trip as well, as seen in her bank statement. I'm currently employed full-time at Royal Cornwall Hospital NHS Trust, where I have worked for over 2 years. My husband, Ozzy, works full-time for a Christian charity organization here in Cornwall as well. So he has also written a letter inviting my mom to stay with us for the stipulated time. So Ozzy also wrote a letter, but I didn't add his bank statement or his pay slip or anything. He just wrote a letter to say that he consents to it, and she's going to be very instrumental in helping us and stuff like that. I have attached my pay slips and bank statement for the last 5 months to demonstrate my ability to support my mom financially during her stay. My husband and I will cover all her expenses, including her visa fee, return flight, and living costs. We can assure you that she will not work, resource to public funds, or overstay, as she has her husband, business, church commitment, as well as my 4 siblings and 3 nieces and nephews to return to. To provide further details, estimated total cost of the visit, I put the amount there. Funds available, I put the amount as shown in my attached personal account bank statements. Please find attached the following documents, and I listed all the documents that I've previously mentioned to you guys to prove that she is going to leave the UK, she has enough funding, and she's not going to stay here and not want to go back. Thank you in great anticipation of my mother's visa approval. If you require any further details, further information, please do not hesitate to contact me. Yours faithfully, and then I put my name, my phone number, and my email address so they can contact me. Now, you don't need to go into this much detail or provide this many documents. The reason why I was going overboard this time is because I knew that she had already been denied before, so I wanted to make sure that this time I was going overboard. That's why I have so many documents to prove. It's better to overcompensate and give too many documents than to be like me the first time and not give enough documents, even though you have them. So I hope this video was helpful. I hope you learned 1 or 2 things. I hope you are now more confident in putting in your visitor's visa application, and I can't wait to hear all the good news from you guys. All right guys, see you in my next video. Bye.